it's against the social norms. So you're right off the bat, you're going
Whose
against
social norms?
our social norms.
Whose social norms?
The society in general.
Who writes these rules?
Where
is it written
we were
down?
growing up with those
where is it
rules.
But where is it written down? Is it written down somewhere?
No.
Should it be written down?
It's the unwritten rule.
Who says that it's the unwritten rule?
Nobody and everybody.
Nobody wants to take
Nobody
credit.
and everybody.
Nobody wants to take credit for it. But everybody wants you to follow
It just is the way it is, Michael.
Nobody wants to take credit for the unwritten rule, but everybody expects you to follow it.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
I'm your mother, and I know what's best for you. Now sit down and listen to Carl and Mike.
Welcome, Carl and Mike. I'm Carl.
I'm Mike.
And this is a show where Carl and Mike get together and talk about the things people don't talk about that much. Politics, sex, religion,
Yes.
other taboo subjects.
And why don't they talk about sex? What is the deal? Who tells you not to do that? I know my mother told me not to do this.
It's our Puritan upbringing, Michael.
Really?
You're not supposed to talk about sex.
Why?
Because...
No, see, that doesn't work.
'Cause-
Why? Because why? Because why?
You're going to make me think? So
Yes,
early?
yeah, I'm going to make you think right from the get-go.
Why can't you talk about sex? I don't know. It's just, it should be talked about.
Because it's supposed to be private?
Yeah. It's something you do in the privacy of your own home.
Yeah.
In the missionary position.
In a missionary position with
Yeah.
with the
woman of your choice.
with the woman, married woman,
married
of
woman
your,
of your
yeah,
choice.
and you have to be married to her. It can't be just any old married woman.
But is that really what's happening? I think there's a lot of more sex going on in the world.
Gotta hope so.
I mean, don't they got like, Ashley Madison or whatever? Well, I don't know. Maybe that was just a bunch of guys around female bots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's the truth on that.
Yeah. I don't know, but
But you see, here's the deal. Because sex is not talked about, it's in the shadows. We hide, suppress, deny. Okay, so then it's going to come out sideways. So you're going to get into sexual perversions. You're going to get into, it goes into secret. It goes into shadow.
yeah, and see, I'm not so sure that it's that way every place in the world. In fact, I'm sure it's not. But here, it's one of those kind of things you don't talk about.
The more extreme religious you get, the more extreme the sex is in terms of secrecy. I mean,
Yes.
don't they have a cloth over the woman and there's just a little hole there? You don't even see the woman when you're having sex?
With certain religions,
Certain Muslim
I want
religions?
to. Well, I want to say I don't know. It may even be Jewish religions. I'm not sure. We need to find that out. We ought to do an episode on sexual norms around the world. Wouldn't that be interesting?
That would require research.
It would require research. So let us cast a wide net to all our people, our Sherpa in Nepal and all the people in Australia, and say, what are the sexual norms of your culture and in your part of the world? And if you're a sheep fucker, send it in. We want to know. Pictures, stories, norms. We want to know what that is.
Send those to
No,
Mike,
seriously.
carlmike.net.
We'll put up a website.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Surely there's a website somewhere of sexual
Don't you think the
norms from
sexual
around the
norms
world.
are fairly the same?
No, I think what's expected and what's no. Mm-mm.
What would be an example of a different norm that you know of?
Well, I think that female mutilation.
Okay,
You know,
yeah.
that's and you just talked about the holes in the sheets, and then the Mormons with the holy underwear. You know,
Does that
it.
have something to do with
it.
sex?
Well, it has something to do with sex when you're trying to get the holy underwear off.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't know what the sexual... I mean, in Italy, is it different than... I think England, Europe, in general, it seems to be a more lax attitude towards
Yeah,
it.
but not so much England.
No.
And see,
Yeah.
that's where we're from. So what does that say? We're some sort of offshoot of England.
We're repressed, Michael.
Whew.
I think one thread of the whole gay marriage thing, and really the whole gay thing, was gays were a lot less sexually inhibited. Mm-hmm. Well, they were forced in the closet, so maybe not. But now they're coming out, is also coming out sexually.
Yeah.
And we're not used to people.
No, but then you have other people who are closeted gays that use the churches to hide themselves,
Yes.
hiding themselves behind people or with people who wouldn't accept them if they knew who they really were.
But, I mean, think about it. All right, let me push you a little bit.
Okay.
So you're at a dinner party, you and Anita and another couple. Mm-hmm. So another couple says, Cindy gave me a great blowjob last night. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about that? Are you uncomfortable in that conversation? Is that weird? I mean, should that even be discussed?
Yeah, it would be weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, I mean,
So
that,
you're saying it shouldn't be though. We should just be able to discuss. So if your friends want to share the intimate details.
Yeah.
I love how Cindy puts ice cubes in her mouth.
when she's blowing me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're okay with that kind of couple conversations?
it's a good question.
And
you
then
know,
they of course
it's-
return and
it's-
go, how do you and Anita do the oral?
It's never come up.
It never has.
No,
right?
it hasn't.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
and that's, I guess that's the reason we're not supposed to talk about sex.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want it? That's what it looks like,
yeah,
no?
yeah. Well, yeah, it could look like
When-
that. Yeah.
I mean, in other words, why should that subject be tabooed? Because we would say because that's
it
the way
makes
it's
you feel
always been.
it makes you
Why does
feel
it make you feel uncomfortable? Because
Well,
you're not
that's-
used to it.
you're not used to it.
That's right. Because we haven't.
You don't do it.
Nobody does it.
Yeah.
Right. So you really want to go there? You were talking about sex being more open
Mm-hmm.
and why is it, and on the surface in lecture you can kind of
Yeah.
go, it should
Okay,
be.
well, then religion.
But then
Why-
when I throw it in real life,
Well,
you
it's the
know,
same thing with religion. When somebody starts talking about their religion, it makes you kind of squirm if they're sitting there witnessing or
Yeah, telling you
Yeah.
how Jesus did this for them. and
yeah,
that for
yeah,
them.
yeah. That's kind of odd.
That happens more than sex. That's uncomfortable. So I don't think we're ever really going to get around that.
Probably not. So we'll just keep it in the closet and keep it dirty.
Well, we're not keeping it in the closet in some ways.
I
Some
kind of
ways
like
we've
it.
got-
I kind of like it dirty.
Yeah.
You know, if you take it out, it's going to sanitize it a little bit. There's something kind of
So there's a-
titillating.
So there's the element of secrecy brings an added level of excitement to it. is
Don't
what
you
you're
get
saying.
points for that word?
Titillating? No.
I know it's not a big word, but you don't get a chance to use it that often.
No, you don't. I haven't used titillating in a while. Yes. How would you use that in a sentence?
Titillate on this.
What does titillating mean exactly again?
Kind of exciting, kind of a, goosebumpy thing.
Goose bumpy. Okay.
Goosebumpy.
So see, it ain't so easy to talk about sex. It's even kind of weird talking to you about it. I've asked rhetorical questions, which you've given no answers to, because it's uncomfortable
It's
talking about
uncomfortable,
sex.
yeah.
We have it in our TV shows. We have it in our movies and stuff.
So is it more uncomfortable talking about it or watching it?
Well, it's watching it. It's somebody else doing it. You're not doing it. You're just a voyeur.
Well, but see,
In a sense.
if you're watching somebody have that same conversation, is that as uncomfortable as actually participating in that conversation?
No, I think participating is more uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
But you got Dan Savage, Savage Love, is an advice columnist that talks very frankly about sex. And
I haven't heard of that. What's the name?
Dan Savage, Savage Love.
Okay.
He's kind of a Dear Abby of sex.
Uh-huh. Whatever happened to Dr. Ruth?
Is she still around,
Dr.
or
Ruth
does she bite the big
Westheimer?
one?
Yeah, I
Bite the
don't
bun.
think go bite the big one. She may have bitten the big one. I don't know.
She talked frankly, but she talked to the more clinical. We could talk clinically about sex.
I'll tell you who talked frankly, but not personally. But frankly, is that doctor that was doing the demonstrations in Sweden for sex education that we referenced a few
Right.
episodes back. I mean, her episodes were incredible. I mean, but it was just a straight clinical representation of what sex actually is.
So there's a distance there again.
Yeah.
There isn't, personal talk about sex. Now, sometimes there's a Q&A. I've seen those, but it isn't about me and my interest or desires or.
Yeah.
And so, is that healthy? Is there shame in there?
I think there's
Is it
I
just a
think
societal
I think
repression?
there is some. Yeah, I think it's societal repression. I think there is shame in there for really unjustified reasons. Why should anybody have shame about sex?
Why should they?
Shouldn't.
And yet,
Or the enjoyment of. Why should they have shame about the enjoyment of?
we're talking about
Or the
it.
titillation of?
You could say that you'd have no problem saying, I scored 1,600 points on a video game,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't say,
What would you
I
say?
banged my wife for blank minutes.
No, you really wouldn't.
No.
No.
It doesn't even feel like you want to. So is
No.
that because we're repressed? Or is that just, I don't really want to have the conversation. Do you want to have the conversations? Do you want friends that you have those conversations with?
I hadn't thought about that. Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that just our generation and we've been oppressed around it so long?
God, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is. I don't even know how to begin to approach it.
Here's the ironic thing. We like sex,
I'm sorry
but
I
not,
brought this up.
we like sex, but we don't want it personal.
We don't want it what?
Personal. which is, in a sense, isn't sex the most personal thing
Yeah.
you can do?
Yeah.
And yet we want it impersonal. Even now, friends with benefits, hookups, those
Yeah,
are interpersonal sex. No emotions, no connection.
I wonder if that makes it easier. The hookup
Makes it physical.
It makes it physical. Well, the physical
Physically.
part of that, but is the elimination of that emotional attachment make it easier? Probably.
For a guy,
But I think for a girl too.
in a sense, isn't that a form of keeping sex in the shadow? Because there's the physical without any emotional or little emotional connection.
I guess. I don't know.
You're looking uncomfortable, Michael. Is
Well,
this
I'm
conversation making you
confused.
uncomfortable?
Well, no, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is. I think there probably is more hookups now, and I wonder if technology has obviously facilitated that.
15% of Britons say they're ready for sex with a robot.
I'm surprised it's that low.
Well, let's talk about sex without intimacy.
Well,
Can't get
yeah,
more
exactly. So you
intimate than that.
you can't. I mean, you don't have to talk about it at all.
But is sex without intimacy a cheaper form of sex?
I think some people would say that it is. Yes.
Why? Why is it wrong to have a pleasurable physical interaction with somebody?
Well, I think it's because of the myth surrounding it being some sort of intimate, personal thing. And can it be that? Absolutely, it can be that.
Yeah,
Does it
I
have to
think-
be that every time?
I think sex
No.
Right. I think sex with your lover and you've got emotional and physical is a fantastic form of sex.
Yeah.
But what we do is we have judgments and we have shame
Yeah.
around other forms of sex that don't have that.
Yeah.
And is that healthy? We've got so much shame in that I don't even know if we can talk our way out of the shame pond to
We're
have.
in a shame pond. We're in a shame bog.
We're in a shame pond.
Yeah.
Don't you think sex
Yeah.
in general is? There's so
Yeah.
much. There's so much shame. There's so much judgment. There's so much stuff. I think part of it is you're not going to talk. You don't talk with your parents really about it, and really there's something in the human psyche that doesn't want you to think of your parents as
Well,
a
there's so
sexual
many
thing.
judgments.
So there's
So many judgments that go along with it. You could be judged about it through religions. And
Right.
religious
All
judges.
religion judges.
Parents could make judgments on you. We get into junior high and high school.
you got your peer group stuff.
Yeah, you're too fast or you're too loose.
So you got that minefield.
Oh, and that's a minefield. Plus, you're just developing at that point, so it's really affects the way your mind is when you're writing those tapes early.
It's always. But now kids are sexting and stuff, and so is this a generational thing with sex? It seems like a lot more teacher students are having sex. That's for sure.
Well, we're hearing about it
Yeah.
more. I don't
Were they
know.
always there?
I don't think there's any more than there ever has been. In fact, there may be even less. We're just hearing about it more. See, I don't buy the fact that there's more of it going on just because we hear about it more.
Right.
Same thing with, other things that are going on, like shootings and killings and stuff like that. That shit's been going on forever. We just happen to be hearing about it.
This would be a good blab. We should get on blab.
Yeah,
talk
this
to
would
people
be
about
this would be a
about
good
sex.
Now,
I have
we're
to
gonna
say,
do-
the whole conversation makes me uncomfortable.
Well, it'll probably make the other people on Blab uncomfortable.
Sexual shadows.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
Okay, so there's sex. So it's the same thing around religion. I mean, what is it about religion? I mean, everybody's got their own beliefs, or they were raised their own ways, or they're uncomfortable not knowing, or they're overly comfortable in knowing. You
I don't know, the faith seems to be on display quite a bit these days.
yeah. Oh, it's definitely on display.
Talking about your religion, it just depends on how you talk about it. It's where you start to try to push it on someone else that becomes uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it don't matter. That's religion, or that could be selling something
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
don't like to be sold.
No, and I don't care what somebody's religious beliefs are, but I don't want them to try and push it on me.
Right.
Or I don't want them to sell it to me. I don't want to hear them talking about it.
Why can't they talk about it?
Inevitably gets into judgments.
Really?
Yeah.
Your judgments about them, or their judgments about you?
Probably
So someone
both.
wants to talk about
both.
his or her personal relationship with Jesus Christ and what it's done for
I
them.
don't want to hear that.
Really? Why?
No. I just don't. I don't know. That's a real good question. I don't know
Why?
why. I don't want
So
to hear
same dinner table couple. Cindy says, me and my husband were talking about Jesus the other day, and and how much in the Bible where it says this and that. You don't want to hear that conversation.
No.
So let me ask you, which of the two conversations would you rather have? The blowjob conversation or the Jesus conversation?
Wow.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah. I don't know. So I got to pick one or the other?
Well, I'm just trying to get you to move in a direction. Which one are you feeling more uncomfortable with?
Well, I think the one about sex would be more fun. I think the one about religion would ultimately lead to judgments.
I'm not trying to sell you here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey, Michael, gosh, I was hearing this quote about faith is best in the dark. I heard that on Stephen Colbert the other day. And, I want to talk about start talking about my faith. You have a problem with that?
Yeah.
You do?
What about talking about?
Yeah, you talking about my faith.
I guess it depends on what it is you're talking about. Yeah.
So if I say
And
my faith,
I guess
as
what
opposed to
is
Jesus, that
No. I said my question would be, why is it necessary for you to do that? Why do you feel necessary to bring that up in this
because
conversation?
Jesus is
What
just so much part of my
part
life.
of your life.
It's my imaginary friend.
Yeah, I'd say that I think that's great that you have that, and keep it yourself.
So we're supposed to talk about politics, sex, religion, and you're not wanting to talk about
no,
religion.
No, we talk about politics more, and that's easier. Now, why is that easy?
Politics?
It's in fact, recently I'll bring that up. I'll bring up politics because there's so much weird shit going on right now. I bring it up in conversations, and some people want to engage, and some people just don't.
Yeah. Some
They
people,
just-
you
they
treat politics, you might as well be
really-
saying Jesus.
Really just don't want to engage. In fact, there's just the other night having dinner with some people, and we were talking, and there was never any direct talk about what's going on, just kind of gauging around the fringes,
Yes,
getting
we
a
do that.
sense.
You do
like
that, don't you?
it's kind of like, let's see. Oh, first off, it was like, are you watching Colbert? I said, oh yeah, I love Colbert.
Yeah.
And I said, you watching John Oliver?
Yeah.
Yes, I love John Oliver. And then that begat Rachel Maddow. It went straight from John Oliver to Rachel Maddow.
Right.
And how much you liked Rachel Maddow and how
Right,
bright
so
she
that's
was.
telling you where he's
Well,
at.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Without getting into specifics or a more in-depth discussion. And I was going, give me more.
But if he would have said to you,
but
no,
you
I
could
watched
tell by
Bill
the way.
O'Reilly,
Yeah.
if he would have told you that, would
Yeah.
you still want to have that conversation?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, because I would like to know what his thoughts are, what his thought patterns are.
Yeah, I don't mind talking to someone else about
Yeah.
it, unless they're so closed off that I
Yeah.
know there's really
Yeah.
nothing to talk about. But it is much easier to talk about politics than it is sex or religion.
Yeah.
You don't really do that. You don't have this little dance like you do to figure out someone's politics. You don't have a dance to figure out someone's religion or a
Yeah,
dance.
no,
well,
you
sometimes religion.
you go, I had this friend that went to nudist calling. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was just really, it was,
She could
you,
dance
yeah,
around
you
it,
kind
yeah.
of dance around that, and they kind of get some nervous laughter, and you go, yeah, but can you ever see yourself doing that? And they go, yeah, I could probably see myself doing that. And they go, and then you just go right into it. Well, Betty and I are swingers. What about it? But you got to ease into that dance instead of jumping right in. It's not something you can just immediately talk about.
No,
So what do
that's-
people talk about? What the fuck do people talk about
Sports.
that they don't? Oh God.
Safe conversation. Weather. We all experience weather. So they're looking for commonality in
Yeah,
weather.
yeah.
Let's break it down, right? That's why you talk about weather.
Hate
'cause
the
you and I
hot,
are-
hate the cold, like
Right.
it when it's nice.
Yeah.
Rain's okay.
You both have
yeah,
weather
yeah,
in
yeah,
common. Any person you meet. And then usually people will talk about, women like to talk about clothes.
Yeah.
If you like
Yeah.
what you're wearing, some kind of thing about
Yeah.
your parents.
Yeah, so you find out that they like cold weather, and you go, "Have you ever done it in the snow?"
What a world. Let's imagine.
You know,
Let's
you're
imagine
sitting
worlds
there-
where, like sex would be weather
Yeah,
conversation.
it's like you're at a
Yeah.
dinner party, and the guy goes,
Yeah.
"Well, how about those Cowboys last night? Did you
Yeah.
see the game?" And you go, "Hey, speaking of scoring,
That would be a great skit. Maybe I'll do that tonight in my little creative group meeting.
yeah, yeah,
Just throw sex out there like a weather question.
just see what people
It would
do."
be total freak out.
Yeah.
You know,
And do the same similar kind of question with religion.
I'm taking you for a Buddhist.
Yeah, are you a Buddhist or a born again Christian?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
Just right off the bat. So hit the weather question. Second question, you hit them with the religion thing.
Yeah.
I can't tell. Are you Buddhist?
Yeah.
Which way you go? I have physical fear of doing that. I have fear of doing that.
Of
For one,
actually
it's
asking
against-
that question.
It's against the social norms. So you're right off the bat. You're going
Whose
against
social norms?
our social norms.
Whose social norms?
The society in general.
Who writes these rules?
Where
is it written
we were
down?
growing up
No,
with
where,
those
where is it
rules.
written? But where is it written down? Is it written down somewhere?
No. There's
Should it
no-
be written down?
It's the unwritten rule.
Who says that it's the unwritten rule?
Nobody and everybody.
Nobody wants to take
Nobody
credit.
and everybody.
Nobody wants to take credit for it. But everybody wants you to follow
It
it.
just is the way it is, Michael.
Nobody wants to take credit for the unwritten rule, but everybody expects you to follow it.
Right.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. It's
It's what?
it is the way it is.
It's like somebody saying, "What? Well, why is it?" Well, that's the way it's always been. I don't want to hear that. That's the worst reason to continue.
That's just
to
the
do-
way it is.
Or that's the
Yes.
way it's always been done.
Well, it is the way it's always been. You don't think society should have accepted norms?
Huh?
You don't think society should have
Yeah,
accepted norms?
but the excuse of that's the way it's always been done. It used to be that hey, why'd you knock your wife over the head and drag her into the cave? Well, that's the way it's always been done.
Right.
At some point the cave women go, fuck you, and hits him in the head and they go, it ain't done like that anymore.
We're just the guys to change the world.
Oh, no.
We're too deep. We're too old.
No, we're just wondering aloud.
Yes.
And wondering why that
There's
is.
all sorts of things we do. And people say, "What do you do? Why can't you just make shit up?"
Oh,
what do you do?
somebody
I'm a
asks you-
sexual researcher. But that would be creating a lie to get into the conversation.
It
Again,
wouldn't
that's
be
a
the
barrier.
first time. I don't know. There's something about doing something like that
Yeah.
kind of it's like hitting somebody in the face with a cold fish. Doesn't happen, and all of a
Right.
sudden, kind
Well,
of
here's the
shaking
thing.
out of
Here's
it
the
and go,
interesting
why?
thing. Here's the. I do think there is an attractiveness to someone who's slightly different from the norms. Not a whole lot. You can't go way, way out. But if you're different, like you don't care what other people think. Back when you were younger, that was a big deal. What other people thought. But here was somebody who didn't. That was an attractiveness there.
Oh yeah. Well, think about characters in movies that are that way. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about Diane Keaton right now, in what's that movie with her?
The sex one?
No.
Diane
Diane
Keaton's been in a ton of Woody Allen movies.
I know, but
Annie
the
Hall?
first one, Annie Hall,
That's
yes,
not the first
Annie,
one. That
well,
was-
but that's the one. She was in
Yes.
a unique kind of a character.
Right. And we like that.
Yeah.
We like our characters
Yeah.
unique on
Well-
the movie screen.
Well, yeah.
But not so much in real life.
No, everybody kind of flocks together. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a tribal thing, Oh, you wear a suit? I wear a suit. I go over here.
We do create our tribes.
And the tribes create the norms.
Right.
Every tribe's different.
Right. And if you break the norms, there's a woman wears
Or you're
goes
banished
topless.
from the tribes.
Woman goes topless, she's gonna get arrested.
Well, you're banished from the tribe. You're no
You're banished
longer
from the whole
accepted.
society
yeah,
tribe.
yeah. Well, it's not that much different here than it is in other countries that
That's
we
what I
say
was
are
trying to say
third
to you in the
worlds.
beginning. Sexual norms are fairly the same.
And that's wrong. But that's the way it's always been.
Exactly.
So why question it? Don't question it. Just follow. Just shut the fuck up and do what you're told.
Yes, that's why here at Carl and Mike, we take the moment to explore these things that
And then shut up and do
and
what
then
we're
shut up
told.
and do what we're told. But at least for 30 minutes, we have a moment. All right, well, so for 30 minutes anyway,
Yeah,
we've done it.
We've questioned the
Sex
way
talk,
things
and now
are.
we're going to close.
Close
the basement.
Close the door.
Stay
Put 'em
away.
down there with the crazy uncle.
Yeah, put that sex talk away.
Put it over here.
Over here. Close the box. Close the box. Close the box. Close the box.
Weird.
But damn it, it
I
is
don't know.
weird, and it's hard to get our heads around, and the conditioning has been so long and so deep that it's hard to even move outside that box.
Yeah.
To have a conversation.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll leave it open for next time. Maybe we'll do a blab on this one at some
Oh,
point.
the blab would be good.
Yeah. Of course, then people are going to ask us sexual questions.
And we'll answer them.
And there you have it. Once again, here, Carl and Mike, we've gone to places that we really aren't sure we should have gone. And do join us at carlandmike.net. We want to hear from you. Send your questions to questions at Carl and Mike for our video show. The website for all you can get at carlandmike.net.
Down, boy, down.
Oh, settle down. All right. Peace.
Out.